guys, it's mr.easybb from AvacWeb, and today we'll be discussing HTML5 and its glory for us. This will be a two-part video lesson, as some HTML5 elements we'll delve into deeper. After this, we'll look at some CSS3 and all its glory. Okay, so let's get started. First off, what's new in HTML5 is that the doc type declaration. There is no more strict DDT, nor transitional DDT, otherwise known as the loose DDT. Um, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, the DDT is document type definition. Um, we just go like this. It is not case sensitive, so we can go wherever we want to. With HTML5, we actually don't need to declare the doc type, though for older browsers, it's better to have a doc type. Okay, so let's get our basic HTML5 document ready here. We won't be putting anything inside the head this time. Most of it's going to be in the body. Actually, all of it's going to be in the body. Okay. Okay, so for the first tags, these are better for SEO. It is called the figure element with the fig caption. It helps so that your images are captioned correctly. Basically, go like this. Inside here, you just put your image. And right below here, and that's our fig caption HTML5 element. I'm going to make notes for you guys to understand. Let's see. Alright, so the next, there are no more types. I lied about the head. We're going to go up here. We do not need to put script type equals text/JavaScript. We don't need that anymore. We can just take it right out. Also, we don't need to put style type equals text/CSS. HTML5 doesn't need the type at all anymore. Then we have some other HTML5 elements, which isn't really an element. This one is an attribute. Okay. This one is called content editable. And we can just leave it like that, but we can also do it like this. Okay. Hello, this is a div. I'm going to save this on my desktop. And we're going to run it in Chrome. As you can see, I wrote hell, this is a div, whatever. As you can see, this big, long outline is actually what it is. It's an outline, just like an input. Now, this won't save if you refresh your browser, see? But this part right here is mainly for applications such as a to-do list. Okay. Now, this next part, there's actually a bunch of these, which is inputs. We have a bunch of new inputs. We now have color, date, date time dash local, email, month, number, range, search, tell, time, URL, and week. Now, these are really mainly for, well, Actually, they're good for everything. Like the telephone type, I believe you can only enter numbers, but also when you use it on a mobile device, only numbers will appear. Just like the email one. When you put it in the mobile device, only the dot, the at symbol, and .com will show up, plus the text, like words and letters, or numbers and letters, sorry. Okay, so let's make a universal input. Okay, so as you can see, I've broken up these inputs, put a label on them so you can actually see what's going on. So let's look at the first input, which is color. You click it, it opens up this little thing from Microsoft Paint, if you remember that. And whenever we click, that actually changes color. Now we can use this in conjunction with JavaScript to create like a dynamic website, perhaps. There's endless possibilities. Now let's look at the date one. As you can see, if we just click these little arrows, the month goes up, and we just go over to the day and then the year. Or we can push this arrow and go through anything that we want. Just keep scrolling up. 2007. Date time. I'm not sure how this works. That one doesn't seem like it's going to work, but this one, it's going to be the same thing. And then you're just going to put our own time in here, AM or PM. That's for like an appointment setter. Email, as you can see, nothing happens, but what this is doing is that it drops down to show your email address. Now the month, you're just going to select whatever you want to do, and that's how that does that. Number is literally a number interval. Our range slider, which we'll get into more after this. Okay, I had to go take care of something real quick. Search. Usually if you search something, it will show the drop down for searches, just like email, how I showed you before. Telephone. Not even sure if that's... Yeah, see, that doesn't even do anything really either. That's just mainly for the mobile device. Time, which is better on the mobile device if you use these. URL. Basically it. These are mainly, a lot of these are for the mobile devices, so yeah, so let's look more into these. Let's see, let's go into here. We're just going to copy this one. We also need the range actually. Alright, there we go. Now for HTML5, placeholder is new. Before you needed JavaScript to do this. And what that does is actually puts like this dimmed out text, and when you start typing, it goes away. Oh, that's another thing search does. It makes a little X, so you can clear it. Okay, now that is done, let's look at the range. The range has multiple new attributes. Okay, there's min, which is going to be your minimum number. Max equals your maximum number. Your step, which is how many movements it will go each time you move your mouse. It's better to show you with it. So as you can see, it's kind of hopping compared to if we took this off and made it 1. It's nice and smooth. See, nice and smooth. Put that back to 10. Hops. it's moving 10 increments each time. And as you see, I can't move it further over here because I started off at 5. So that's okay. There's also some more attributes that you'll need to know, which is required, which now makes it so that if this element is not, if it doesn't have any text in it, it's empty, well, the form will not submit. I think I actually got to put it in a form, so what we're going to do is go up here, form, input type equals submit, value equals go. Okay. You see that little pop-up, of course, please fill out this field, and then if we do this, it just adds it. Now as you can see up here, our range equals 55 and our search equals whatever it was. So if we brought it up to here and we said Google per se, you'll see it change 85 and search equals Google. This is actually pretty freaking cool for anything for the PHP in the backend. Okay. There's also another cool little attribute, which is autofocus, which I guess that's alone too. You see how it, like, I'm not clicking anything. Here, I'll go up here. I'm going to refresh it. It's automatically focused, which is sometimes handy. There's also pattern, which this is pretty cool actually. Pattern is an attribute that allows for regex in the HTML element without the JavaScript, okay? So if we had A to Z, and then our minimum, and then our maximum. As you can see, the little pop-up comes up and says, please match the requested format. Well, look at that. But now if we did Google again, this should pass, as it passed. But if we did 1989, please match the requested format. Oh dear Lord, I keep pushing things down here, so I'm gonna, there we go. I'm gonna close some stuff. Alright. Now I thought that was pretty cool. I hope you guys did too. Alright, there's other stuff, like if we want to create our own attribute. I don't know, I'm just coming up with some stuff. Data Mike. Semantically, it is now correct to do this instead of just coming over here and saying, hey, Mike is an attribute now. Data Mike is semantically correct. It should not be mistaken though for the area tag, which is like area atomic, I guess, something, whatever. It's just yeah, none of these are actually coming up true. The area attribute is for like voice enabled browsers for the blind or disabled. You're going to use data for preset data inside of here so that you can later on use it in JavaScript. We can actually also use our datas in CSS3 now, which I'll be showing you in the next video. We also have the age group, which will help for like if you have a this is going to be for your top of your website. And we'd probably use this inside of a header. Let's erase this. Erase this form. Erase that. There we go. Did I even write anything? No, I didn't. As you can see, just right here, It's nothing new, it's nothing different, it's just helps for semantics and SEO as well. Which also brings me to, since I just used the header, we now have header, which is going to help with our semantics, and the footer. Instead of having to do div ID equals footer, whatever. Um, this is actually semantically correct this way. And usually inside of our header, sometimes, we'll have this one called nav. Now start using the nav whenever you're writing your code, because Google will actually see this nav, it'll recognize it, and it'll only look through the links through there, instead of coming up through links in the content areas if you didn't want to. There's multiple different new HTML tags which will help us, which is sections, aside, which usually comes off to the side. I mean, it's display block, but it just helps us with our semantics instead of using div for everything and trying to figure out in our code. And inside of our section, we'll usually put like an article, and which is literally you put an article in. There's a lot more tags, which I'm not going to get into, but HTML, they created these tags really for semantics, and so that your page is not literally all this, and you can't find anything. You're just trying to find, so you have to do Control F. So that's why they created that. Plus, it helps with the search engine optimizations. Alright, so the next few tags I'm going to discuss in the next video, since I'm going to go deeper into them, which is the audio tags, the video tags, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about the nav tag. And there might be some other ones, which I'm going to also implement JavaScript into. I know this is HTML5, but since HTML5 came out, JavaScript had to come up with new stuff to help with that, which is now I think it's ECMAScript 5. So okay, now there's also two different things, or actually one different thing, which is the local storage. This is HTML5. It's replacing cookies. It has a larger memory per se than cookies themselves. Cookies, I believe, allows 4 kilobytes, and local storage allows 5 megabytes. But with local storage, the user can define how much space is actually used per website. So if they wanted more, they could add more. If they wanted less, they could add less. It's actually a lot better, especially if you're going to use data for page refreshing and if you don't have server side. Okay. What is not HTML5? Since there is confusion on what's HTML5 and what isn't HTML5. First off, CSS3 is not HTML5. JavaScript is not HTML5. Of course, it's JavaScript. jQuery is not even part of JavaScript, HTML at all. Client storage and WebSockets. I don't know if you guys ever heard of these. They are not a part of HTML5. They were removed to their own sections or specifications due to their complicated specs. Since they got so complicated, basically, they moved them into their own category. That's it, guys. Next video, I hope you guys will watch, and let's get into some audio and video and CSS3 and JavaScript all together.